Well, hello everybody and welcome back to Lisa's Coloring Corner. In today's video, I would like to introduce a new color blending system. This system is awesome. It was developed and created by Lori, who has a YouTube channel named Color My World Coloring. In addition to these videos that I'm going to be talking about, she has a lot of other videos on her channel that go through tons of tips and tricks. So go ahead and check out her channel. I will leave a link down below to her channel in the description below. Now, what she has out right now is for Prismacolor and Polychromos. She is going to be adding additional pencils to this system. I believe right now she mentioned the Holbein's, Derwent, Caran d'Ache. I'm not sure which pencils in the Derwent and the Caran d'Ache that she is going to be adding. I guess we will find that out in the future. So, what is this system? This whole system is to teach you what Prismacolor and what Polychromos colors blend together, and which colors don't blend together. As she always calls it, the ones that don't blend together, you make mud. So you'll hear her refer to that makes mud an awful lot in her videos. Just to let you know too, this system has evolved and changed quite a bit from when she first developed it, and you will see that if you look through her videos on her channel. She does have a playlist out there, and it is called the Cmw Blending System. Cmw stands for Color My World, so it coincides with her YouTube channel name. There used to be only black and white versions available of all these sheets that I'm going to be showing you. Now there is a color option. She heard back from a lot of her subscribers who were following along with this system that they were spending way too much time coloring in the workbooks and not spending enough time actually practicing what they were learning. Plus, they were using up so much of their pencils coloring all this in. So that's why she went back to the drawing board. She worked with a graphic designer. They were in direct contact with Prismacolor and Polychromos to create these colorized versions of these workbooks so that the colors were as accurate as they possibly could make them. However, it is going to be dependent, of course, on your color printer, how accurate the colors will print out, whether it's your home color printer, whether you have, you take this and you go have it printed at, say, Office Max, or she had hers printed out at UPS. She found that that was the best price. For me, that was not the best price. I took mine to Office Max and just had some of the beginning pages printed. There's no way that you're going to want to print out the entire workbooks all at once. That would not be feasible. It would not be a good idea. It would be rather expensive. When I did compare what Office Max printed out for me, I kind of screwed up one page, and I had the same weight paper here at home as what Office Max had. And so I reprinted off a sheet. My home printer, I have a color laser printer, actually printed the colors off much more accurately than Office Max. So from now on, I am going to be printing my own sheets. Now, what is this system? Okay, I am going to show you what is available right now on her Etsy shop. She is in the process of updating her Etsy shop. She has just been so busy. She has worked so hard on this system. She has put tons of time, tons of resources resources, lots of her own money into this system, but yet charges very little for the workbooks. And of course, each lesson is free because they're YouTube videos when she goes through each color and what blends with that color. So right now, she has all of the black and white versions and the colorized versions available. And the black and white, she gives you a PDF. And the colorized version, she gives you a PDF. Now, the Prismacolor is like 400, I think it's about 462 pages long, and the Polychromos is 375 pages long. So again, you are not going to be printing out that entire workbook all at once. She will tell you at the beginning of that lesson what 3 pages to print off, because there are 3 pages for each lesson that she teaches in that particular video, because it goes through all 150 Prismacolor and all 120 of the Polychromos. So there are 3 sheets for each color. And again, she will tell you the specific page numbers to print out. All right, the workbooks that are available on Etsy, as I said, you can get your black and white PDFs that are the full workbooks. You can get the colorized version of the PDFs. Those are a little bit more, just $2.50 more than the black and white. So $10 for the entire black and white version of the Prismacolor and Polychromos workbooks. I didn't think that was bad at all, considering what she has all put into this system. And the colorized versions, again, these are the full workbooks, are only $12.50. So she does have the black and white of both, and she has the Prismacolor, or the colorized version for both available. And those are $12.50. Now, when she was developing this system and she heard feedback, she has tried to cover absolutely every single base out there. So maybe some people don't have access to a printer. Or, you know, they don't want to take it in and then have it printed out. You do have the option of having hard copies sent to you. So here is, right now, I believe she has the hard copies in black and white. Let me look. Oh, the Prismacolor Master Set is in color and black and white. Right now, she does not have the Polychromos Master Sets listed on Etsy, but I believe she will be adding that because, again, she's redoing her Etsy shop. So I am assuming that the hard copies for the Polychromos in black and white and color will be out on here. Now, the other thing that she put available out on here, so those hard copies would be sent to you in the mail. The other thing that she created, and I'm going to get into what the hard copies are, because it's not, she's not going to send you, you know, 400 and some pages. She will be sending you what's called a master set, and I'm going to go through what the master set is versus the full workbook. But the other option you have is getting a flash drive sent to you that contains the entire workbook. Okay, so the flash drives are only $17, and she will send you this little flash drive in the mail, so that then, you know, maybe you don't have access to a computer. So the PDFs, you can't download that PDF and print it out yourself, or take it somewhere to have printed. So she will send you a flash drive, and then you can take that flash drive to Office Max or whatever print shop you want to use. So again, she has really tried to think of everybody. Okay, what are these master sheets that are different from the full, you know, 400 or 300 some pages? The master set is just like what it says. It goes through all 150 or 120, which depending on the color pencil you're talking about, but it does not go through, and I will show you this. It just has one set, and then you write in what particular color you're working on the top. So then the master sets you actually make your own copies of for the next colored pencil. And let me show you now what these workbooks look like. So that's kind of how her Etsy shop is set up. Again, she is redoing it. I will also link her Etsy shop down below in the description. I created my own playlist called the Cmw Blending System, and then every time she puts a video out, I just add it into my own playlist. Just an idea. If you want to find her and you want to find these specific videos that go with this, just do a search for Color My World Coloring, and then I search for color blending system, and that will bring up the video specific to these workbooks. All right, let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's look through what these workbooks look like. Now this is the Prismacolor, the full workbook. Of course, I didn't print out the entire thing. This is the, let's go through the black and white one first, because this is the first one that came out. Okay, so this is the front sheet. Then you get a table of contents. And let me zoom you in a little bit so you can see this a little bit better. Okay, so she gives you the table of contents. So we start out with cream, and she gives you the pencil number. And then she shows what pages that they are on. And I got too much on my desk here. So for example, cream is PC 914. It is on pages 6, 7, and 8. But again, she'll tell you exactly what pages to print out for that particular lesson. Now these colors go kind of in an odd order, and she put them in order according to what Prismacolor has them in. Same with Polychromos. So you'll notice ginger root and artichoke are way up here in the top. Ginger root maybe. Artichoke is more greenish, you know, so technically it should have been, you know, down farther by the greens, but this is the order that Prismacolor has them in, so that's the order she's going with. So I did rearrange my pencil case, even though it went against everything I have in me. Because you know me, I love to have everything in order, but I did rearrange both my Prismacolor and my Polychromos pencil cases to coincide with the order that she has these in. Just makes it much, much easier when you're coloring in your workbooks to be able to go in the same order and just pull out the next pencil. So after the table of contents, and you'll see there's a number of pages because it goes through every single pencil. Then at the very end, let me get this over here. At the very end of the book, she has a few different things. After the neon pink, neons are the very end. She has what's called pressure blending, and I will go through that. She has color alongs, where you can color things in. I will be showing you all of this. Pallets, and then Prismacolor checkoff list. So there is your table of contents. Okay, what do the worksheets themselves look like? This is what each color is going to look like. Again, this is the black and white version. I am going to be showing you the colorized version. Let me get you over here. So she has what she calls a color pod for each color. Okay. What you are going to do is you're going to take your cream and you're going to color this in up here. Now, when I colored it in, I went from hard pressure and I brought it back out to light pressure so that you can actually see what the true color of that pencil is. And that's going to make more sense again when we look at the black or at the colorized version. Okay, so the black, excuse me, I'll be right back. All right, so of course there were doggies outside, so Bella had to go crazy. All right, where was I? Okay, we were going through the black and white version. Now you're going to be coloring in more of each of these pods in the black and white version because, again, nothing is colored in for you. So I want to concentrate on the colorized version. Now excuse my arm, the Polychromos is identical. Let's just quick take a look. Sorry, I bumped you. At the full workbook in the black and white version of the Polychromos. Again, there is a table of contents, and then you start getting into each color. Again, nothing is colored in for you on the black and white version, but everything is set up the exact way as the Prismacolor. And I'm assuming, you know, when she comes out with different pencils in this system, they're all going to be set up the exact same way. And Misty is up here. Your butt's in my way, girly. Okay, so let's look at the full workbook, the colored version. Again, starts out the exact same way. Is this kind of bright? Let me turn my light off and see if that helps a little. Okay, yeah, I think that's a little better. I'm going to bring my camera back a little so that I have a little more room here. Okay, no, went the wrong way. Sorry, guys. I'm not doing too well, am I? Okay. All right, so it starts out with your table of contents again, and then lists the extra stuff that's in the back of the book, and I will go over that. Now, here is where it starts with the difference between the black and white version, and I am going to zoom you in just a little more so that you can see each specific color pod. No, not specific. You can see it a little more clearly. Hi, girly. You're going to have to go down. Okay, baby? Okay. So here is our first color in the Prismacolor workbook, and it is PC 914 Cream. So again, you're going to take your cream pencil. You're going to color this in. Here we start out with cream, and it goes through the specific order that is listed in that table of contents, and it goes through all 150 colors. So there are 3 pages for each Prismacolor. Okay, now what does this color pod represent? On the outside of this colorized version, you'll notice that it is colored in. This represents this particular color. Okay, so in this case, all of these on the outside are all cream colored. What's on the inside of each one represents each particular color, all 150 colors. And that will be shaded in here. So again, if you have the black and white version, you're going to be coloring in the cream on the outside and then every single color on the inside here. And that's where she got some complaints that people were spending too much time coloring in their workbooks. And using up too much of their pencils. So for, in my opinion, for $2.50 more, getting the colorized version in the long run is going to save you a heck of a lot of money because you're not going to be going through your pencils so fast. Okay, now, what is this white in the middle? This kind of goes along with the B that is underneath, and that is if you want to do a 3-color blend between these two colors. Let's say these two colors don't really blend together and you kind of need a third color for a transition, or let's say you want to put down a really pretty 3-color palette for that particular color. You would then color in this white part and you would put what pencil that is for that particular blend down below. So again, she really is trying to think of everything. Now, if you don't want to put the blend here on these sheets, I'm going to show you where else she has in the workbook where you can put your 3-color blends. So I myself am not putting my blends on here. I am going to be putting them on the other sheets that she provides. Okay, what's the other half of this circle? This is where you are going to be taking your colored pencil and you are going to be coloring the top half with this color, the bottom half with the ginger root or whatever color is listed down here, and you're going to see in the middle where they overlap what they look like when they're blended together. Okay, so you're actually going to see how these colors interact and if they make a good blend that you can use on your coloring pages. Then what she goes through in each of her videos, she covers one color at a time. So for instance, in this case, she will have a video for cream. She will go through each one of these colors and she will tell you what colors blend well together and what colors make mud. So when she tells you that and she shows you her worksheets, you are going to use these 2 squares. Now again, this evolved. Her very first, I think, 2 videos do not have these squares on, but your worksheets will. So you just kind of listen to what she says as she goes through each color, whether she feels they blend or not, and then you will color these in. Now, what do you color them in? You will color it a green color on the top if it blends well. So we know all these yellows and oranges all blend really well with cream and with your yellowish type of colors. So the top are all going to be greens. They blend really well. The bottom one is if it would look good in a palette. So again, for all of these, they're going to blend together and they're going to be great in a palette. So both of these would be green. Now there are instances where it may blend really good, but not be too great in a palette. And the opposite may be true sometimes where the 2 colors themselves don't blend together. They kind of make mud in the middle, but yet they could be used in a palette on a coloring page. Especially once we get down to some of the colors that maybe would make a really pretty palette for maybe flowers or something like that. You will see where the blend itself is red, but the palette itself will be green. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I have a lot of notes written down for this. I put a lot of time and research and everything into this video. This is one that I've been working on for quite a while, so I hope this all makes sense to you guys. Okay, so yes, we colored, or we went through what all the pods represent, the squares, what the B underneath represents. And let's go on to what the rest of the sheets are for. Now, as you can see, there are 3 pages for the cream. And again, it is going to go through, I'll zoom you back out a little now that we kind of went through the specifics of each pod. On the bottom of the 3rd sheet, she has some blank ones here, and in each of her videos she's going to show you some 3-color blends that she really thinks works great together. So in my on mine, and I'm going to show you my workbook with mine colored in, I wrote down the 3 colors, and I have not gotten around to it yet, but I am going to then color it in. She's always going to give you one, though, that does not work. So the ones that work, you're going to be coloring in green, but she will give you one that does not work, and she'll kind of explain why those particular colors do not work together. And then she leaves room for notes down below. If there are any notes you want to take while she's explaining, you know, going through that particular color. So first we have cream. Then we go through the 3 pages of ginger root. And again, I only printed out for this video, I only printed out the first couple colors. Okay, but your PDF is going to contain all 150 colors. So there'll be 3 sheets for each color. Okay, now after all of the colors, the next part in the workbook is pressure blending. And what this is you will take each color. Now, if you get the colorized version like this, it's all done for you. Initially, when we had the black and whites, I colored this all in myself. Now we don't have to. But what you do is you take your colored pencil and you start dark and you blend it out. And then on this side, you come back with white. So it shows you what each color would look like blended with white, and how that white can change the tone and the color of, you know, that particular color. Then in one video, she did also suggest, and this, you know, maybe would be a good idea too, is if you came back, because tint is mixed with white, right? And then your shades are, is it shades? How did she state it? Let me see, because I want to tell you exactly right. I think okay, can't find it. Anyhow, oh yeah, your tones are grays. So you could add maybe a gray on this side and just show, if you added gray to that particular color, what the color would look like. I didn't go through and do that. I just left mine as is. So then she goes through all 150 colors and what they would look like, you know, with white mixed in from the right. So those are the pressure blending pages. And again, there are blank ones down here and room for notes. Then we get into the My Color Blends, and this is what you can make copies of and, you know, continue to use as you find 3 color blends that you like. And again, you're going to color it in the same way that I explained previous, especially when I showed you the black and white versions. So you're going to color in your main color that you're going to blend in. Down here, you're going to come up with this color, and then in the middle is what's going to be blended and kind of join the colors together. So this is all for your 3 color blends. And again, you can make copies of this, however many you want, and keep track of all your 3 color blends, which is probably your most common blend, so that you have your light, your medium, and your dark colors. That's, you know, the majority of what we use when we make color blends. After that sheet, and again, this is something that you will make copies of, she made sheets for if you are coloring along with somebody on YouTube and you want to keep track of what color blends and palettes that they're using in their particular picture. So you can put their channel name, what the name of the video is, and then let's say they're doing a tree and you want to keep track of the colors that she's using or he's using in the tree. And then maybe in that same video, they're coloring in a flower. You can write palettes in here for that, or maybe there's a number of flowers you know, and then maybe the sky or something. So this is to keep track of any color along that you're following on YouTube. And again, you just make copies of this page for each color along that you're coloring with. And again, room for notes. Maybe he or she gives you some details about something and you want to keep track of it. Okay, then after that are palettes. You can keep track of different palettes that you like. And again, you make copies of this particular page, write it down in here, color it in, and she's got, you know, how many on each particular page. So, you know, again, make copies of this, however many you need. After that, she actually typed up the Prismacolor pencil list for the 150 set. And initially she created this so that you could keep track of what pencils you need. Maybe your raspberry's running out and the next time you go get pencil, maybe, you know, from Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and you look at your list and you need that particular pencil. So that's what she created this for. However, she also said that you can use this, maybe you are watching a color along and you don't have time to write that all down for the color along. Again, you make a copy of these sheets and you check off what colors that individual was using in that picture. You know, you can jot down notes, you know, as you're checking these off so that you know what colors, you know, were in there. But then you can go back and you can fill out that sheet. Okay, so this can be used for a number of different things. It can be your shopping list, but it can also be used for the color alongs to quickly kind of keep track of what pencils they use. Okay, I hope again that all makes sense. So that in a nutshell is what this entire blending system is about. Let me see. So we do have the Prisma, again, the Prismacolor workbook in either black and white or the colorized version. We do have the Polychromos in the black and white and the colorized version. Then I did not explain thoroughly what the master sheets are like. You can get the master sheets in either, you know, color or black and white. Now the PDFs that she sent me kind of don't coincide with what's in her Etsy shop right now. And again, she is redoing that. The two files that I got were for Prismacolor and Polychromos in the colorized versions. So let's look at what the master sheets actually look like. It starts out the same with your cover sheet, but when you get to the table of contents, you're going to see it's much shorter. You have, excuse me, I'm still getting over this cold. One moment. Okay, pages 3, 4, and 5 they're your color pages. So let's look at. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's look at these. Now, these are your colors all in order, and the middle, gosh. Oh, I'm so sorry. The middle is colored in for you, which corresponds to all 150 of the Prismacolors. So when she goes through a color, you will write down that particular color up here, whereas in the full workbook, this is already typed in for you. So you'll write it in, and then like in the full, you will color this in. Okay? This particular master sheet is not meant to color on. What you do is you make a copy of these 3 pages for each color that she goes through. So again, these are master sheets, and that's why they're called that. So you will make a copy of all 3 of these sheets, and then again, you will write up on top what color she's going through for that particular lesson. So if you don't want the entire PDF and you would prefer to write it in yourself, just get the master sheets. All right. Then she gives you pressure blending, the pressure blending sheets. These are not colored in. You can color these in yourself. But then pressure blending 2 is the colorized version. So again, she colored these in, shows how it would look like with white blended into that particular color. So the master sheets do contain the colorized version of the pressure blending. And like the full version, you do get the sheets where you can include your 3-color blends. So you can keep track of some of your favorites. And again, like the full version, we have your color along sheets, which you will be making copies of. Your palettes, again, you will make a copy of this sheet for, don't color on your masters. And then in the back, again, like the full version, she has the Prismacolor complete shopping list, or again, if you want to use it for the color alongs. So that is what the master sheets are like. You only get the one set of 3 that you're going to continue to make copies of for each lesson that she goes through. Polychromos is set up the exact same way. And again, you can get the colorized version or you can get the black and white version. They will eventually be out on her Etsy page, her Etsy shop. So the table of contents, again, for Polychromos is identical. You have the 3 master sheets that you will make copies of for each color. Of course, a little bit shorter because there's only 120 colors. Here's your pressure blending 1 with the black and white. And then your colorized version. Then you get, again, to your color blends. These are all sheets that you will be making copies of. Then you get your 120 set or listing if it's your shopping list or for the color alongs back in the back. So they are identical between the 2 sets, between Prismacolor and Polychromos. They're just specific to that particular colored pencil. Now this is going to be like a year-long process, or better, because she is planning on going through, a couple of colors a week. So it may actually take over a year to get through the Prismacolor set. But I want to show you what my actual workbooks look like. Okay, I bought these binders at Walmart. What were they called? I will link them down below. I believe I wrote the name down. Yes, they're called Exceed. I got the 2-inch injection binder. The reason why I got the 2-inch, these hold up to 540 sheets. So anything smaller than this, you won't be able to fit in the entire workbook if you go any smaller than this. So I opted to get the larger size so that eventually when you have the whole workbook in here, it will all fit. And the reason why I really liked these is because any of you that have created manuals before and you've created a side thing to describe what that manual's for, you've tried to tuck something down into that plastic. It's not easy, is it? These binders have it on the inside where you just slide in your piece of paper. I just created in MS Word, I created some cute little tabbies that I inserted in here. Cut them down and inserted. So I have my Prismacolor and then I have my Polychromos. So I know right away which book is which. And then because she doesn't have it right on the cover sheet, which is which, I just made a label and I specified that this is Polychromos and then this is my Prismacolor. Plus, I know the purple binder right away is my Prismacolor, the blue is my Polychromos. So I am just going to show you the Prismacolor one. These are nice too because they open really easy. And they do have the D-rings, which makes the papers fit in here much nicer. I bought these tabs because I wanted to make tabs where it specifies each section. So I have the table of contents, then all the blending sheets, which is going to be the biggest, section, the pressure blending, my color blends, and then the YouTube color alongs. And then the very last one is the shopping list. I will link these down below too. You can use any tabs you want. I just like these and I've used them in the past. So again, here is your table of contents. Then we go to the blending sheets themselves. And this is where I colored mine in. Then I watched her video, and where she had them as greens, I colored them in. I use because again, I'm very OCD about making sure I stay in the lines. I used an ultra fine Bic marker to color these in. If you want the Sharpie ultrafine, whatever, you can use your colored pencils, or, whatever. That's just what I used. And yeah, my green, I don't think was real full to begin with. So I've already gone through a green marker, but I don't know if anybody's aware of this. On shopbic.com, you can buy individual Bic markers. You can find some of them on Amazon, but they're like $3.99 a piece. It's like, that is ridiculous. Well, on shopbic.com, and if I think of it, I will link that down below too. They're only $1 a piece, and they have a flat rate of $2.99 shipping. So I ordered a number of additional greens because I have a ton of the reds, so I don't need any more reds. Okay, so this is the first sheet where I colored mine in and followed along for her cream lesson. Okay, and it doesn't take real long to color these in. It really didn't. And you go all the way through the neons. A lot of times the neons are not going to blend or make a palette with a lot of these colors. Then here, let me zoom you in again. I keep zooming you in and out, don't I? Here is where she gave some, let me get some stuff out of the way over here so I can shift this over a little. Here she gave some of her favorite 3-color blends. Now, she did give one that is cream, magenta, and aquamarine that did not work at all, and she gave it to us on purpose, and we mark it in red so that you can actually see what a bad one looks like. And then she gave some other really nice color palettes, 3-color blends. So I still have to color these in with my own pencils. Then she went through, I will zoom you back out again. She went through the ginger root. Again, I colored mine in at the top. Colored in all of my pods. And again, at the end of that particular lesson, she gave a bunch of 3-color blends and one that didn't work. And I do have to color those in also. She went through artichoke already. Exact same thing as previous. She did not give now some 3-color blends in this particular video, so. And then we did get through eggshell. And the last video that I did get caught up finally. Again, this is what I've been working so hard on for the past, amongst all my other things, probably working on this for a few weeks. she did go through the Deco Yellow. Now, the Deco Yellow is the first color in the Prismacolor that kind of matches a color from the Polychromos. So up to this point, she's kind of been concentrating on the Prismacolor. The next color we'll be going through is the lemon yellow. So that video should probably be up shortly. So that is exactly what my workbook looks like. Again, here is my pressure blending like I showed you in the other sheets when I went through it all. So this is exactly like what I showed you. I just, again, have mine split out by tabs. Okay, so now the Polychromos, like I said, the first color that actually kind of corresponds to a Prismacolor color was that last color that we went through, which was, what did I say? Oh, Lordy, I got a short memory. Was the Deco Yellow. And the Deco Yellow kind of resembles the cream in Polychromos. So again, Polychromos is set up exactly the same as our Prismacolor workbook. Go through the index, and then we get to the first color. So here's our cream. Color it in just like before, and then you do all your blends. So like here's mauve, you color the top part cream, bottom part mauve, and you join them in the middle. Now, Polychromos, as most of us know, do not blend quite the same as what the Prismacolors do. Prismacolors blend together really nice because there's such a soft wax-based pencil. Polychromos is a little bit harder and it's oil-based. So when you get to the middle and you're blending over the top of each other, it's a little bit different than when you do it with the Prismacolors. But it still gives you an idea of if those colors are going to go together and if they're going to blend together. Polychromos, as most of you know, are more of a layering pencil rather than a blending together pencil. But it's still going to give you a good idea of what colors blend together and what don't. So when she went through this particular video, she did not, she went through it on the Prismacolor. Let me get this straight. And so she showed her Prismacolor sheet, went through all the colors on Prismacolor and what should be green and what should be red. But she did not go through the Polychromos. So I asked her, you know, if she has she's going to be typing up a comparison set, a comparison sheet of what Polychromos will compare to what color in Prismacolor. Now, if we would have that, we can look and see which one should be green. I kind of, at this point, just guessed. I see I have a couple that I have to color in red on the top. I made mine so that they closely represented what she made green and what she made red out of the Prismacolor. I just kind of compared what color here closely matched the Prismacolor. So I know that she said once you get into the darker purples, they kind of make mud, so they were reds on top, but yet they make pretty palettes, especially around this time, around Easter. You know, they would make a pretty palette. So again, this is all identical to before. All your greens, your earthy browns, all blend really nice with the cream until you start getting down to the really dark browns and then into your dark grays. Dark gray, you know, doesn't work until you get to your lighter grays. And of course, white blends with everything. But then we will be getting into ivory next. So it depends upon what color ivory, or if ivory is going to match a color in the Prismacolor set. If so, we will be going through both colors in the one lesson, just like this last lesson. The last lesson covered both the Deco Yellow in Prismacolor and the cream in the Polychromos. At the end of each lesson, she does a demo. She will show you how actually, you know, to color a picture, she will demo that particular color. Now this last one, all the previous ones she did demos in the Prismacolor. This particular last lesson she colored with the Polychromos for the most part. So she is very inclusive in her lessons. She, again, tries to color all bases in her videos. And I think she is doing a fantastic job. I love this. Especially if you love coloring in color charts, you'll love doing this system. But I just think it's really neat to see what colors truly go together. And believe me, she is qualified to teach this class because she has gone to art school. She has colored for a long time with colored pencil, and she definitely knows her stuff. She knows what goes together with what, and she is just an awesome teacher. So I can't recommend this system high enough. You know, even if you don't color with colored pencils, it still gives you a really good idea of what colors really go together and catch the eye, and also gives you a really good idea of like 3-color blends, what 3 colors go together, say on a flower, or, you know, your grasses, your trees, things like that. So, now, do I have to buy this system? No, you don't have to buy the workbooks. If you just want to follow along with the YouTube videos, which are, again, completely free, you don't have to buy this. You can just follow along, maybe jot, you know, notes down on your own sheet of paper. So, I mean, you're free to do that too. Lori doesn't care. It's just much nicer having the workbooks themselves. So I think that's about it. Just let me double check my notes and just make sure I covered everything that I wanted to cover. Yeah, she is eventually going to have a set schedule for these videos when she's going to be publishing them. Right now, there's maybe, you know, about 1 lesson a week, maybe 2 once in a while. But she is going to try to work on getting a set schedule for these lessons so that, say, Tuesday, you know, there's going to be a lesson out and you can look towards that. I don't know if she's going to be able to work that into her schedule in the near future because, like I said at the beginning of this video, she has a lot of other really awesome videos out there too. So again, very knowledgeable. I love watching her videos. I learn a lot from them. So I will, again, link her YouTube channel down below. I will link her Etsy shop down below in the description too. So I hope you found this video as interesting as I found this entire system. I'm really glad I found it. And I did have a question from a subscriber a few weeks ago, and I'm sorry I didn't put this up until now. She actually found this on Etsy and had asked me if I had ever heard of it. And I said, how ironic that you ask. Because I said, yes, I did. I purchased the system and I am in the process of getting a video together. It just took me a lot longer to get together than what I thought it was going to. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe. I hope everybody's having a terrific weekend. And as always, happy coloring. Bye, guys.